Hi everyone, this is Keith from Gaming Trend, and I'm at the WizKids booth here at Origins, and I'm here with Scott from WizKids.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about their current lineup. You probably know about DiceMasters, but they have a couple of other games and a couple of new things coming out for DiceMasters too. So we're just going to kind of go through the glass case and see what they have.
Well, looking at the first panel that we have here in the case, this is our DiceMasters case. So we've got our DC DiceMasters with Justice League, which is out now and available already. That came out, and we are looking at coming up in August with War of Light. That'll be the next DC set. It'll have the whole complement of products that we've seen in other DiceMasters releases, with the starter set, the gravity feed, the collector's box, a new playmat, a team box. So all of the items are on display here at the show.
And this looks, the War of Light, I hadn't seen this before. So this looks like it focuses on the Lantern Corps?
Lantern Corps, so you see a lot of Green Lantern Corps characters, you'll see a lot of characters from the other Lantern Corps, and there's also another sub-theme tucked in there of Teen Titans.
Oh, wow.
So you'll see those characters as well.
That'll be a great expansion to the experience, so that you have more than just the original Justice League characters.
Absolutely, absolutely. Fun set. So look for that coming in August. And then panning down here, we'll look at our Marvel products for DiceMasters. We've had on the left there Uncanny X-Men, which came out last year. And this year coming out just next month, actually, is the Age of Ultron set. Again, the Age of Ultron set has a full complement of the DiceMasters products, with the gravity feed, the starter set, the collector's box, the playmat, and the team box here as well. So all new characters, and also some of the fan favorite characters with the Avengers, and of course Ultron.
What's included in the collector's box?
So the collector's box has an exclusive card. It has the sidekick dice, the basic action dice, but primarily what it is, it's a great way, sort of a carrying case for your DiceMasters collection. It has a layered tray that you can put the dice in, that makes it easy to take your team out and store it. And so once you're collecting the Age of Ultron set, you have a place to store all the dice and have them all nice and organized.
Is it kind of similar to the Courier's boxes?
It's exactly the same setup in terms of physical structure as the Courier's box, and we do them one for each set, and it does have one alternate art card that's available through that box.
Very cool. Okay, and then the Yu-Gi-Oh set, we won't cover it too much, but I know that you do have a mechanic in there where you have to have a specific number on the die as well as the card to use it. Have players reacted positively to that, because the Yu-Gi-Oh is more of a collectible entity in and of itself?
Yeah, it hasn't really affected the gameplay too much. So it does have that requirement to have the matching serial number to the card and the dice for tournament play. So it's that features in this game, not in the other ones. But the Yu-Gi-Oh has been a very popular set. Of course, all Yu-Gi-Oh fans see a lot of characters that they recognize, and taking it into the DiceMasters gameplay, it's been very fun to work with.
Cool. Okay, then we have a lot of new HeroClix, and I suppose Marvel is huge right now with all the movies and cartoons, so it looks like here you're focusing on a lot of that.
So for Marvel HeroClix, it's sort of been the year of the Avengers for us. We started off with in May with the Avengers Assemble set, and then we're going to be following up with that with the Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. set, which comes out in August. And then in between, we're doing a storyline organized play that's Age of Ultron. Of course, there was a movie that came out. Some of you might be familiar with that. And this is a tournament kits that are available for local store play, and this is exclusive booster packs that you have to go to the store and play to be able to get these boosters. The grand prize at the end of it is this Avengers Quinjet, which is a playable piece in the game. And then each person that shows up to month 1 event will get this Avengers Roundtable, which is a resource that ties in with these Avengers ID cards. And the Avengers ID cards are, they're not only a cool collectible to have different characters on these ID cards, but they're a gameplay where you can actually call in that character for a turn. And those ID cards are randomly inserted into packs, starting with the Avengers Assemble set. They'll be in the Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. set. They're in the Age of Ultron boosters. We have exclusive ones that are available as prizes here at Origins, and we have them at our Nationals event as well. So there's a number of different cards to collect, and it adds that new gameplay aspect. So it's been a lot of fun. The fans have really loved it, and we're really excited to see it. So I'm a big comic book fan myself. So it's been a really fun year to work on this.
Well, and I think I was watching Whose Line Is It Anyway, and one of the guests that mentioned that they were a HeroClix.
Absolutely, Scott Porter is a HeroClix player and has been for a long time. So he's a great guy. Shout out to Scott. Hello. And it was really a blast to see him on Whose Line Is It Anyways. Look it up on YouTube. He did a great job with Wayne Brady, and they actually did a little off the cuff ad lib improv song about HeroClix.
Superheroes, didn't he call it something like that?
Yep, which is pretty accurate.
Yeah, it is. So cool. Now, the next game that we have has an X-Men theme, but some people might already be a little familiar with it. It takes the same system as Spartacus.
Correct.
And he puts the X-Men into it.
Sure. The X-Men Mutant Revolution board game just came out last month. And this, we worked with Galeports 9 and licensed with them the game engine for Spartacus, because all of us at WizKids have played Spartacus and absolutely loved it. It's a fantastic game. And said, man, we would love to work with this game and see about doing a theme with the comic theme to it. And this is uses the same game engine. There's a few little tweaks where you are playing one of the different leaders of the X-Men over the history of the X-Men. There's been a number of characters that have sort of taken the lead role. And they each have a different leadership philosophy, so you're sort of vying for the future of mutant kind, and playing the game within the game of the combat system that you'd be familiar with Spartacus, which was the arena battles, and it's a blast to play. It really takes that depth of gameplay that Spartacus had, and that really good game engine that I loved of having that sort of meta game, and then the combat system within the game, and taking that X-Men theme to it. So we're demoing it here at Origins Game Fair. It's available at stores, so talk to your local game stores to check it out.
Yeah, it would definitely hit the table more often than Spartacus would, just because of the theme. X-Men is a lot more accessible than Spartacus is.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of recognizable characters from the Marvel Universe and the mutants particularly.
So the next game that we have is a very popular one, is the Attack Wing series, and we have both the Star Trek and the D&D one here.
Correct. So on this shelf here is Star Trek Attack Wing, where we are showing off not only the starter set and some of our larger figures like the Borg Cube and DS9, but also the newest releases that are coming out or just came out this month. Which we're up to wave 15 right now. That just came out this month. In fact, that just came out yesterday. And then we are previewing waves 16 and 17 here. So a lot of new ships are available in a bunch of different factions. Of course, we have Federation ships, but adding in another Ferengi ship, a Klingon ship, Romulan ship. So really trying to fill out all those factions for Star Trek Attack Wing players.
Yeah, and just having more factions within the Star Trek universe, I think it makes it a little more interesting because of the variety of ships that you can have, because they all seem to have their own different philosophy that goes into the ships that they make.
Oh, sure. There's strengths and weaknesses, absolutely, for each faction, and the Star Trek universe is just such a fun universe to play in for us.
Now with the D&D Attack Wing, I thought it was going to be mostly dragons, how is it different from the Star Trek?
So the main difference in terms of gameplay is that it's the same flight path system, but in D&D Attack Wing, obviously there's the dragons and the flying units, but there's so many other creatures and monsters and things that are in Dungeons and Dragons that are so iconic. We felt it would be very, dragons are cool, right, don't get me wrong, but we felt it would be very limiting to just have it be a dragon combat. So we really want to reach into the Dungeons and Dragons mythos and character base. So it has land units as well. And what's been added to this game, another layer, quite literally, is there is ground and air. So using the same flight path maneuver system, but we have a separation of having two elevations, if you will, that adds really a very an extra level of strategy that you can strategically choose if you want to be up in the air, if you're a flying unit, or be on the ground, because dragons can just land on the ground and walk around. They're a little less mobile than when they're flying, but there are advantages in terms of being able to avoid attacks that can only be on one elevation or the other.
Cool. And then you also do have the DiceMasters, and yes, that's been, I'm assuming, fairly popular as well.
Absolutely. For Dungeons and Dragons, we have DiceMasters as well. DiceMasters for Dungeons and Dragons, we have the starter set, and we have the gravity feed. But it has the same gameplay mechanics, but there's a few new elements in it in terms of experience. There's a mechanic in the game for experience. As a character kills another character, they can gain experience. There's alignments that come into it, and so certain equipment and things might be able to only work with certain alignments, or certain spells might work with certain alignments or against certain alignments. So it really has that feel of Dungeons and Dragons. And the thing that I absolutely love about the game of Dungeons and Dragons DiceMasters is I'm an old school role player, but I haven't so much in my adult life had the time to really do role playing like I used to. Dungeons and Dragons DiceMasters gives me that feeling of Dungeons and Dragons, but in a short time frame where I could play a half hour, 45 minutes, play a couple games within an hour, and it still gives me that feeling, sort of scratches that itch of being in that universe, seeing those characters, recognizing the monsters and what they do in the DiceMasters game system. So it kind of gives you that immersion in a short time frame.
And speaking of immersion, I'm really glad that you guys have brought back the D&D adventure games, and the first one that you have came out very recently, the Temple of Elemental Evil.
The Dungeons & Dragons Temple of Elemental Evil is a part of the adventure board game series, which we are very proud to take that mantle and run with it. So this is the fourth game in the series, and working with Wizards of the Coast to get the content for it. It's an absolute blast to play. It's a game that the board expands as you go, so it's always a different feel.
It's a cooperative game, so everyone works on the same side, and that's a nice thing to have in a game like this.
And it's very scalable. You can there's difficulty level depending on the number of players, so it's very flexible game to be able to have, even if you play 2 players, 4 players, that you can
and like
expand.
The number of healing surges you have.
Correct. So it's wonderful game to work with. Great board game series. We're really proud to, as I say, take the mantle and run with it. So this just came out last month. Again, go to your local game store and ask them about it.
And then, speaking of role-playing, we have a few new Pathfinder Minis. Is this relatively new? I'm pretty new to the Pathfinder series.
Pathfinder series, we've had a number of releases for the miniatures for the Pathfinder battles. We're showing off here the Dungeons Deep, which is the most recent set that just came out. And then also we have the Iconic Heroes, this is now set 3, which just came out, which has a prepackaged set of heroes in there. It also has exclusive cards for the Pathfinder Battles card game included in that. And it's been a wonderful group of characters, monsters, really cool sculpts, really cool characters to work with. So there's just so much depth there. This is we'll be seeing a lot of Pathfinder Battles minis to be able to supplement your role-playing game into the future.
Yeah, and even use on the maps if you use those for your battles as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else you want us to cover? Or?
Sure. Yeah, a couple of quick things that we can point out. First off, for all you Mage Knight fans out there, we have a new expansion coming out that's called Shades of Tesla, and that will be coming out in August.
Based off of the Nickelodeon 3D.
We actually have, we're working with them for all the content. So okay. It's comic, big screen, small screen. Oh, so it'll be a mixed bag, and we'll be doing products for HeroClix and also for DiceMasters for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, wow. So look for more information on that in terms of release dates and what exactly the products will be. But that was our big announcement for the show, and people have just been going crazy about it.
Great. Well, thank you very much. And
thank you.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.